Hello everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. My name is Judith, or for those who remember my sign name, sign name are given by the deaf people to stop the finger spelling of your name all the time. If they want to call you, they say, hey. I understand it's me. Or they call somebody else, hey. They're calling somebody else. So welcome to today's lesson. We are going to learn all about Kenya Sign Language, or KSL. In this video, we are going to talk about 1, the purpose of Kenya Sign Language; 2, who uses Kenya Sign Language to communicate; and 3, why learning KSL is important. Kenya Sign Language, or KSL, is primarily used by people who identify to be as part of the deaf community. The deaf community comprises of the interpreters, the deaf themselves, and their families. Many deaf and hard of hearing use primarily sign language to communicate and access information. Many countries have their own sign language. We have the ASL, which is the American Sign Language. We have the Uganda Sign Language. We have the British Sign Language. And we also have the Kenya Sign Language. Deaf refers to someone who lacks the ability to hear. Deaf is signed this way. Hard of hearing, it refers to someone who has a mild or severe hearing loss. Most of you who are watching probably identify as me. Hearing, which is the ability to perceive sound. It is signed this way. Hearing. So we have the deaf and the hearing. Since deaf and hard of hearing can't always rely on their ears to pick out sounds, they must rely on their senses, such as sight and their visual expressions. That's why sign language was created. Kenya Sign Language is a visual language. It relies on gestures, facial expressions to communicate a message. Kenya Sign Language is primarily used by the deaf community in Kenya. Now, contrary to popular belief, Kenya Sign Language is not a gestured version of English. Kenya Sign Language is its own separate language. It has its grammar, it has its structure, it has its rules that are different from those we know in the English language. The world we live in is primarily known as the hearing world, which means it is designed for people who hear. Due to this, many people who are deaf and hard of hearing, they face different struggles throughout their everyday life. However, many people in the deaf community, they don't view this as a negative thing, as they take pride in their deafness. Being deaf doesn't prohibit or stop people from enjoying a lot of the same things hearing people enjoy. These are movies. This means movie, or the TV, or music, art, traveling, video games, sports, books, and more. One major thing that has really helped in navigating this hearing world is technology. Do you know there was a time if you wanted to talk to someone, you had to call them? Now we have texting on our phones, we have FaceTime, which has really helped the deaf community to stay connected. They're able to communicate. For example, I have FaceTime with some of my deaf friends on WhatsApp. So they're signing on the WhatsApp and I sign back to them. Sometimes you can record a video of yourself and send it to your friend to give them a message. The advancement of technology has really given the deaf and the hard of hearing ability to enjoy movies, TV shows, and videos online. It is important we discuss these things. Why is it important? Because people who can hear, they have some privileges that the deaf and hard of hearing do not have. One key thing you need to know is that 90% of children who are born deaf, they are born to hearing parents. And you find most of the deaf give birth to hearing children. So if 90% of children are born to hearing parents, isn't it important to learn sign language? You find that most of the hearing people, these parents included, they don't know any sign language. So often, the deaf child spends a portion of their childhood. They cannot communicate with their parents. They cannot communicate with their family members. Can you imagine such a world? You're not able to communicate with your mother. You cannot communicate with your father, your brother, your sister, your cousins. Such a quiet world. It is pretty lonely. Lonely. Alone. This lack of communication and access to language, it can negatively impact many deaf people later in life. That's why learning sign language is important. KSL learning is important. It opens up the world more things to the deaf community, and it helps to break down communication barriers. It also gives the opportunity to learn more about other people and their cultures. Now that we have discussed about KSL, its importance, and also understood part of the deaf community and their challenges, you are fully prepared to learn sign language. I will be your teacher. My name is Judith, and my sign name is... So whenever you see me sign my name as, do not be shocked. That is my sign name. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Remember, you are amazing. Let's continue to learn sign language for an inclusive society so that we can communicate with our deaf brothers and sisters. See you next time.